I'd like to call this April 25th, 2023 Newberry Township Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. We'll open with public comment. Julie Dibble, is she here?
I don't see her.
Okay. Is she sick or something, or? Does anyone know?
No, she's walking in now, but somebody's walking in.
Hey, next up, Robert Gaswit, Redland Senior Center, sir.
Good evening. This is the second month in a row now that the person to offer prayer is not here. I would be more than happy to do that, but I would pray that you folks are going to be very receptive to what I have for you this evening as far as the senior center is concerned. We're going to provide you.
Can we interrupt you so she can come in and pray for us?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Thank you.
All right,
Come on.
in.
you're up.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And thank the Lord for the sunshine brightening our faces and our lives. And something I've seen following the Newberry Township Police, there's been a lot of animals going on, cows and pigs, and at the same time, my husband, who works, elsewhere in York, he met 4 angry dogs last week. So, in the midst of the first responders' job, they never know what they're going into. They never know how they're going to come out. And so I want to pray specifically for them tonight. It was on my heart after this dog attack. So if you will join me. Dear Lord, we thank you for the spring. You promised it, and it is here. We thank you for flowers and trees. We thank you that animals are more out and about. You created them too. But tonight I want to pray for those who have jobs. It might not only be the first responders in this room. It might be others who don't know what they're facing when they walk into their workplace. And I pray that you'll be with them. I pray that you'll give them peace. I pray that you will give them strength. I pray that you will help them remember to call upon your name if they are in trouble. And that goes for any of us. For you say in Romans, I didn't get it open, but everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. And that is our spiritual saving. But also, he says, I'm your help. So I pray a special blessing upon the first responders in this township, in this community. And I pray for all those here, Lord, that you will be with them as this meeting goes forth. And it is in your precious name I pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Is your husband okay?
Thank you for asking. He has several bites, but when you receive a text that I got attacked from 4 dogs, you have an image in your mind, and it could have been much worse. So I thank the Lord for that. Yeah, and he's finished his antibiotic to protect against the dog diseases. So thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
And God be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rob, you forgot to do the executive session.
Oh, thanks. So, Dave just reminded me, I forgot to announce about executive session was held on April 12th at 5 p.m. to discuss regional fire department matters and Knox boxes for their fire department. There was no executive session tonight. Was there anyone that came in late that needed to get on this list to speak? Because we took this up here. All right. All right, Robert, you're up.
Thank you. I come this evening being very excited about a number of things, first of which, at last month's meeting, I was very encouraged by verbal and nonverbal, what I interpret being positive reaction to what we plan to do at the senior center. Since then, a number of things have happened, and they've obviously all been very positive. On Thursday evening, we had our first meeting with the church board. We really weren't sure prior to that, until we actually get them to the table to discuss where they were actually standing as far as their willingness to follow through. Well, as a result of that meeting, we did find out. They are very much in favor of what we are doing. So the bottom line is, for us to have an opportunity to own our own building, I would have never thought that it was going to happen. On Friday, we had a meeting with Don Kiefer and BJ Sieg from Mike Regan's office, discussing the possibility of grants for what we want to do. John Manita is going to pass out to you our vision and what we want to do in the next 5 years. It's not carved in stone, but it gives us an idea of what we want to follow. You can read that at your leisure, and I'll be back next month. I will be back next month.
Is that a promise or a threat?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm going to make it a promise. You can think it might be a threat. But because we have someone working on a marketing plan for us to raise our money. And then last evening, I was at Fairview, and they approved a nice sum of money for us for a 2-year period. So they are buying into the plan. And then, not the height of excitement, but almost, we found out this morning that we have someone coming in to fix our potholes in the driveway, which number 16 at this point. So, yeah, we're very lucky, and in fact, the company, Wagman Construction, that are doing our doors, have volunteered to do that. So that's very kind of them, and we surely appreciate it. So we are at our session on Thursday. We had our 2 attorneys there. They're in the process of drawing up, what we want. And what really started this whole thing off was that we found someone to provide us with 2.5 years of coverage of that $22,000 a year that we need. So that really is what set the church in motion of knowing that we were serious in what we were doing. So we're going to probably be the most extensive fundraising campaign that I've ever been involved with as far as the senior center. I've been volunteering for 40 plus years, and trust me, we have not seen anything like what we want to do. We are just hoping. And as I say, I was encouraged by your reception last week. I just hope that you folks are willing to buy into it, because that's very important, that people in the community know that the townships are behind it as far as supporting. So you may not have any questions now. I'll be back next month to present the marketing plan to you. That's a video and everything. I mean, it'll be exciting. Then I would also like to introduce you to our new director, who started last Thursday, and she'll make a couple remarks. And her name is Carmen. Here she is right behind you.
Could
Hi,
you
good-
just please state your full name and address?
Address?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My name is Carmen Bonzaca, and I live in 807 Delta Road, Red Lion, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to say thank you for having us, and we're glad to be here. And from what I've been told, that we are looking forward to the bright future that the I guess the senior center has, and we hope for your support. And just thank you again.
All right, thank you. Next up, Brian Rabine.
Brian Rabine, 928 Pleasant Drive. I just have a comment, question, or concern on tonight's agenda for letter G for the towing ordinance. It's going to be put out for advertisement, but we never had any discussion on it anywhere. And I thought we were going to have some meetings to discuss it amongst the towing agencies that are already in place. And so we have no idea even what's going to be advertised at this point.
We're going to table that when we get to that, where it's going to be tabled, because I'm still looking into some things on that.
Okay, thank you.
But Dave, you want to set a date for him, Mel?
Yeah, I'll get together with everybody here in the next week or two, but, yeah, we're going to table that for now, because there's some questions on the way it's worded at the moment.
Next up, Jane Harmon.
Hello, Jane Harmon, 205 Hemlock Lane, Edders. Sorry. Hey, you wouldn't want my voice. I cannot sing, I can tell you that. It's one thing I can't do. I have a couple of things. First of all, I was driving down Yoakumtown Road, and I noticed a few people out, two of them. Tom Adams, I don't see him here tonight. He comes sometimes. I wanted to recognize them. They were picking up trash. So, yeah, with the gray hair. I just wanted to say, it's probably a church that, I think it was the Zion Church that they're probably doing it, but I just want to recognize them. It's a very busy road, two of them there, and I seen quite a few bags of trash. So it's nice that someone cares about the community and is out there picking that up for us. So,
Yeah.
So anyhow, I wanted to acknowledge him, but he's not here. Then I went to go in, last week we had the sewer meeting that was open, and one of the things that you mentioned that you had several meetings on it. So I went back through the agendas for the entire last year. And I've noticed 3 meetings, I have them all here, that was discussed. So I don't know, other than that, when you had a different public meeting just on the sewer, I couldn't see anything on the internet about that. So can
Did you say you have 3 there?
Yeah, 3.
I think I said at least 2 or 3, so
Okay,
that's
but they were
probably-
during a regular public, they were during, pardon me? Oh, okay, it was just a regular, where the guy came and he just spoke on it, the PFM.
Yeah.
He came and spoke 3 different times about we're gonna start the process, but there was no other public meeting on that was
No.
just regarding
No.
that. Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that, so, all right, that's what I have to speak on yet. I'll be back. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Next up, Deb McKiernan? Did I say that right, or close?
Deb McKiernan, 15 South Ben Hogan Drive in Edders. I was here last week, and I wanted some clarification on a couple things. When are the bids due back from for the sewer?
Does anyone have I don't have the date.
I believe it's May 18th is the date when the bids are due back in.
Okay. Now, once the bids are back in, once we receive them, what is the time allotment that we have to make a decision?
I thought I read somewhere 90 days or something. Most people would probably want a response.
I thought it was 30 days and 30-day extension.
I'll confirm the actual response date, but I don't know if it's 90 days. I think
The response we got from PFM was 90 days, and then if you wanted, you could extend one more month,
Yeah.
Thought I
typically.
read that somewhere.
Well, I'd like to get clarification on that because that seems like a long time for most decisions. But the reason why I ask is we were talking last week about setting up a meeting to discuss all these options, et cetera, and I wanted to make sure we had enough time, once we received the bids, to get a notice out to everyone.
We're gonna set that date tonight, correct? Or talk about, discuss it anyways. We're gonna have that,
We'll figure out the best date anyway.
yeah,
All right, thank you.
okay, thanks. Next up, Ronnie Allen. No problem. Well, you're required to talk once you write your name on her.
Yeah, you're out of luck.
Next,
Bob up to speak on your behalf. You said Bob.
next item of business, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes from March 28th, 2023 supervisor meeting.
I'll make that motion to approve those minutes from 28.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, land development plan subdivision review. Do we have any? Okay. Next item of business, reports. First up, public safety. Good evening, Chief.
Evening, Board. Evening, residents. A little too forward for me. All right, so we'll go over the police department first. Of course, I forgot my glasses in the back. So, for the month of March, our department had 1,017 calls for service. Listing this by criteria, we had 1 burglary, 7 thefts, 2 motor vehicle thefts, 2 drug offenses, 7 DUIs, 10 simple assaults, 2 sexual assaults, 4 domestic-related harassments, 6 other harassments, and 22 all other offenses. Additionally, they responded to 954 other calls, including 18 domestics, 16 traffic accidents. They issued 62 traffic citations, 125 warnings, 13 non-traffic citations, and made 37 misdemeanor and/or felony criminal arrests. The only thing I have additional to the police department report, which you guys have, is I wanted to make everybody aware that last Friday, April 21st, we did have our accreditation assessment, where 3 outside assessors came into Newberry Township, into our police department, and looked through our building as well as our files. There is 139 standards and 242 substandards, so it's a considerable amount of work to become an accredited agency. We were in compliance with all standards, and we're going to be recommended. They can't give us a official notice because the assessors don't have that power. We're going to be recommended at the next quarterly meeting for our reaccreditation. When that happens, which I am confident that'll happen, we will become a premier agency, which is very, very exciting news for our agency, because once that happens, we'll be one of 27 agencies in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that has achieved that status, out of nearly 1,200 police departments in the state. So it's very good news. On to the public safety. You have everything in the reports, the EMS report and the fire department's report. I do want to make notice that Newberry Township Fire Department has a couple fundraisers going on. Bingo, April 28th. That's the end of this week, I believe. May 12th, May 26th. The doors open at 5:30, and the first ball pops out of the machine at 7. And then they also have a chicken barbecue on May 20th at 11 o'clock. That's all I had. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, how'd the color selection go for the building?
think it went well. I mean, we didn't pick anything extravagant, mostly like grays.
But everything's picked out and ready to go now
I
then?
believe so.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Next up, Solicitor James, you have anything to add?
Nothing to add to my report, but I did confirm it as 90 days, unless you agree to an extension
Okay,
for the sewer approval.
okay. Andy, you have anything to add to your report? I mean, Bill, sorry.
I have nothing to add.
Where I came from. Scott, you have anything to add? Zerning, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Jeremy.
Nothing to add.
Nothing to add to your report? Brian, anything to add to your report? Attorney?
Yeah, the only thing I'd add is, had some information on there about our trucks that we had ordered. 2 of them are in, so the other one should be in early May, but the first 2 have been delivered to Frederick Chevrolet, and they'll be going up to U.S. Municipal shortly.
So do we have to pick them up and take them?
They take them up there.
Okay.
And
Jane, anything to add to treasury report? Claire, do you have anything?
Yeah, I did check in the garage doors for the building. Cost, I talked to Mike. It was 74,000 on the paper here. And they reduced it down to 62. They took 12,000 off of it. But I still priced the doors out to Baker Garage Doors. And for all the high-end everything, 12-foot wide, 14-foot tall, automatic openers, it was only 31,000. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around the price difference.
Prevailing wage.
Okay, the wage was only 10,000, so you doubled that, that's 20,000, so we should be at 41,000. Correct? At least?
So you met with them about a couple different items, I guess?
He didn't know exactly, the email was sent to him, he was kind of confused what I wanted, so he didn't have all the information. It's just all these prices here, when you start looking at it, you start wondering. Roofing, what's roofing in this thing, Rob? Jeez. What's roofing cover on this?
Well, the shingles and the rubber, I would imagine.
Roofing, $360,000.
Is that the same sheet you had last time? or
This is
that's
the one you
something
just sent us just a couple days ago.
So is that with all the adjusted prices or not?
It's-
Like the value engineering numbers?
This was just emailed to us here just recently. This is the latest one, right? I mean, what does roofing mean, Rob? Is it just the plywood, the material? What does it mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
The
if it's for
trusses?
It's probably not the truss, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, I'm getting
It's
at.
probably the,
I built a
maybe the
25 by
decking for-
60 building, 18-foot tall. I built a 70 by 80 building, 18-foot tall. It was only $70,000 for 2 buildings, for shells of buildings. Where are we getting $360,000 for a roof?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I agree that number sounds like a lot, but unfortunately, we had a contract with these guys and we signed it. Like, there's nothing we can do about that now.
Well, I understand that, but I asked these questions back in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an answer for him. I agree with you, the numbers do sound high. But it's not like we can,
You know, we all had these
Call
sheets
another
before we signed off on this project, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we signed a contract. I mean, the numbers are what they are at this point.
It just looks to me like this whole building's double what it should be.
But Claire, weren't you in on the,
I was gonna say, this.
Yes, I sat in every meeting, and I asked when I had this sheet, I asked Rob after the meeting we had in 2021, and he agreed, he thought the price was kind of high too, but we never got to discuss it, because I wasn't on the committee, we want to call it, in January 2022. Dave and Rob was. I also was,
that she'd show on the metal.
no, the roof itself, it could be, that's $100,000 less, right, the roof, the metal roof? You're still at 260. I mean, a lot of this stuff should have been questioned, that's all I'm saying.
So are you saying that Dave and I should have questioned it at the meeting? Is that what you're saying?
Somebody should have questioned it.
I mean, we're at construction meetings to build the building, we're not discussing pricing or negotiating prices with them at those meetings. That was done
Most of
before.
those meetings were during the day that I didn't have.
All these pricing options were done, during the day.
Yeah, we got this price list back in 2021, and I started questioning. Then we went from planning everything, we didn't meet with them no more, me and Dave didn't meet with them more. They started meeting with the police to go over the options of the flooring and the colors and stuff like that, and then you guys came about in 2022 in January, and you guys took over.
Yeah, correct, but we weren't negotiating numbers at that point. We were just coordinating the construction.
Well, I guess what they need to do is get rid of prevailing wage.
I don't know if that's the issue.
Well, I mean, and you're also looking at numbers that include overhead, that include profit. I mean, that includes a lot of different things. I mean, I'm not making excuses. I know it does sound like a lot of money for that item.
I mean, we can ask them at our next construction meeting.
I mean,
Well, he said we signed a contract already.
well, I thought you met with them already about all these things and had it all, like, in your mind, had it.
No, we had a $4.3 million budget set, and we had a no more than $5 million budget set. Because we figured if the project didn't go through the sewer by the grants, we figured that'd be another $700,000 to make it $5 million. So that's how the budget was, $5 million. We figured half that was gonna be paid by grants. Now it's before you guys came in here.
But I understand your concern, but why are we discussing now the numbers?
I didn't sign off on this.
You didn't? So you're saying you never saw all these numbers, like the four of us?
Correct. And I
decided this
ran them
without
numbers
you?
past you in 2021.
So it's my fault? that-
No, I'm just saying, you knew about it in 2021.
I've been here a year.
When
All
you
this
were-
stuff was done before I got here.
When you were coming to the meetings, I had mentioned to you about the prices, and you thought yourself they were kind of high.
And I still agree with you.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, we, as a board, whether you want to be included in that or not, we gave these guys a contract to build this building for this number. It's a little late at this point, too.
Again, I still think that that's the steel price. And when you're paying a guy $97 an hour to put steel
Well,
roof
that's
on.
fine, Dave, for that particular line item, but the garage door, it's pretty basic, it's twice as much.
No, what I was asking you, I thought you personally met with them a few weeks ago to discuss a couple of different items.
Yes, and Mike didn't know what I wanted for exactly, so we kind of went over some things, and he discussed the garage doors, it was $12,000 less. And the furniture package that we're going to negotiate something different with the furniture package, like Diane had mentioned something about that too, we can get someplace cheaper for that also,
Yeah.
correct?
I mean, I won't argue with you, the numbers sound high for some things, but I mean, it's not a good answer, but that, we decided on a building for a bottom line.
I also
number.
mentioned too, when we didn't get the grants, before we didn't get the grants, I kept asking, when are we gonna start reducing the price of this building? And I kept getting answers from everybody, we didn't get the grants yet, we can't do nothing yet.
We did reduce it by $500,000.
Not a lot.
Oh, it's something.
We'll see how much that's reduced when it's all said and done.
I think we're pretty close to out of the woods with any overages as far as rock goes.
They get the water done down here?
I think they're down to the street, they're not tied in yet. Or, yeah,
They still have to put the sewer from the building down to the,
I think they're, I'm not positive they're to the pit, but I think they're down to the street also with that line. So, I mean, I don't anticipate, I can't say it for sure, but I don't anticipate a lot of any overages at this point.
all right, I'm good.
Okay. Diane?
I'm good.
I don't have anything else, Mike. Dave?
I'm good.
Next item of business, old business. We're discussing setting a date for a special meeting to discuss the potential sale of sewer assets or retaining the sewer assets. Possibility of selling or retaining and discuss proper advertisement and location. So just open for discussion. Does anyone, Claire, you had some ideas of you.
Well, let's hear from the public quick, see what they say.
Okay, come on, Dave.
Good evening. David Parsons, 200 Waniat Drive. Are you planning setting just one date or two dates? For those people.
As many as we need. We can have as many as we need.
I don't know that I'd
Everybody's
say
out there, but-
we have as many as we need.
Well-
If we need more than one, I guess we can, but they're probably gonna have to be close together.
Okay, I mean, like 2 different days, that's all.
So we do have a date, May 18th is the deadline for the
To
bids?
receive the numbers.
To receive the numbers. You want to
What-
make the
what day
meeting
is that?
after that date?
After that, I would say, yeah.
May 18th is what?
19th of May?
No, 18th, right? You said?
Well, the 18th is a Thursday.
So make it that next Tuesday?
I mean, do you wanna make it on a Saturday so more people have the option to show up, or?
And about how long would the meeting take? I mean, there's obviously, with questions.
How many people show up?
Oh, yeah, sure.
How many
Could take
questions
half
they
an hour,
answer?
Could take 4 hours. I mean, it's hard
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, depends how many people show up and ask questions
Sure.
and concerns.
Personally, and this is my opinion, I'm sure there's people out there that are going to tell me I'm wrong, but I think we ought to at least wait a month so that we can let our attorney, we can let our consultant that's doing this stuff review everything so we have an idea rather than do it half-assed and do it the following week.
So you're saying to make it 30 days after the 18th, Dave?
I would at least go 30 days, because that's why I was sitting there looking at my calendar.
So, Dave, you're talking
I would like to
some-
see it somewhere around maybe like June the 6th or something like that. That gives the people, our consultants, our attorneys, the manager, and everybody the opportunity to go over what's been submitted. That we're only looking at, I don't know, right around 30 days or something like that, 35
Or
days.
the week of the 6th.
And I think we should have it at the fire company because all the people that's gonna show up for that's not gonna fit in here.
Yeah, and coordinate with them. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not June the 6th, June the 26th, which would be, that would be a month and a couple days.
And what day is that, Dave? June 26th?
It's a Monday, it's the Monday before the township meeting.
Gary, how many can you house up there?
That's my opinion. I'm sure it's wrong.
Don't be so sure, Dave. Well, I would say you think at least maybe a couple days, like Dave said, June 26th, maybe another date.
We can.
I think it might be a good idea. Like somebody said Saturday or,
And just gonna continue the conversation or repeat it so new people who haven't heard.
well, it's still going to be on the internet, right? Still going to record it.
Well, I'm not sure how we're going to do that up there.
James, what do
Oh,
you
that's right,
think
can't
we
make it
should do?
Can we record at you?
I think,
You have access to the internet there, so I'm not sure, I'm not a tech savvy person.
Okay, we could probably get it.
Our camera's mounted to the ceiling, so
Your head there.
trying to move that's going to be a little tough.
There's other ways to do it.
I think you set one meeting now, and then you tentatively set a second date for it if needed. I would suggest setting time, 2 to 3 hours, depending upon the number of people that come. I would also defer to PFM, because they've been through this a lot more than any of us have, to kind of get a sense for, what are the main issues? I mean, we know.
We want pros and cons on both ends. of it.
Absolutely. Yep.
So maybe we explore the idea of renting somewhere a little larger that can stream.
They can stream there. You got Wi-Fi, right, Gary?
I thought you just said the cameras are mounted to the ceiling.
Well, that's this
Well, we
camera.
can
We
come up with something.
Something that's gonna
Yeah.
work.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Just got to figure out what days now. Couple days.
Dave, what do you think about advertising?
Oh, definitely have to advertise. Yeah, because you have.
Well, in my
definitely
opinion,
You-
we
you-
advertise, we do as much as we can.
Yeah, you need to advertise it because all the supervisors,
On a
this will be
cable
like a
channel.
workshop.
On a cable channel, all three of the fire departments on our Facebook, on our police Facebook, Steve could do that pretty easily, our Facebook here, Jane could put it on her Facebook, get a couple people on their Facebook, get it out there. It'll go. Well. I know you're always on next door neighbor, whatever it is.
Don't forget your sign out front, so.
And a sign out front too, yes.
Oh, yeah,
So I think
that's-
if we hit all the spots and advertising it in the paper, which I agree with Rob, most people don't read the paper anymore.
We still have to do that though, right?
Discuss the letter to the township people.
What would be the feasibility of sending out a letter to people?
It's about $1,500 to mail, from what I understand.
Be worthwhile
Well, that was
spending
just,
$1,500?
that's just to the that's just to the 3,000
That's
sewer.
just to the people who are in sewer.
So times that times 5, so $7,500.
$7,500.
But you're just going to the people in the sewer, how about the people that developments are?
That's what
No,
we
no,
just
that's what
said.
we were just
That's what we
saying.
just said. It's 5,000 people,
5,000 households?
yeah. So it's more like 7,500.
And plus, put two signs up, like I talked about in my email. Put the signs up on the exit up here at Newberry and up here by Walmart, put two signs up, get them made, have the highway department put them up quick. Put a date and, what, Scott?
Highway department and quick don't go together.
What'd you say? But yeah, put two big signs up so people getting off the exit ramps, I mean, everybody travels, they're gonna see that too.
Sure.
So if we cover all of our bases with them spots, we should be pretty good.
I think so, yeah.
So, while we're talking about, I wanted to bring one other thing about the meeting. Brent, not to put you on the spot, like, I don't want you to say anything tonight, but there was some concern that, or some, not concern, someone discussed possibly you speaking about your thoughts on the sale or not sale. Would you be willing to do that? And it was portrayed that like you have full ability to say your piece without any kind of repercussion from us, because someone was concerned that you might not be able to speak freely. So, if you want to do that, you certainly are entitled to do that at this meeting, just to let you know.
And also,
Actually, I would invite it if, I would like to get your input on that. Okay.
also, Rob, can we find out if it's a possibility, James, you might know this answer, if we can hand out flyers during the elections? They're coming up in May 18th. Can we have flyers to people about the thing also?
Not at the polls, you can't. Why don't we send it with the sewer bill? That way
We already
everybody.
went.
Next one's July.
I'll get you an answer on that because this is,
Can we put a sign there by each,
I was already told no.
were you? Okay.
who'd you ask?
I mean, this is from years ago.
Oh, years ago, yeah, okay. I'm sure it's the same thing, but.
Probably the solicitor, the
I'll confirm.
Deidre in the elections office.
Which is a good spot, because a lot of people come out for election, you know what I mean? And hand out the- especially the older people who come out.
Would anyone else like to come to the podium?
I'm sorry, before she speaks, I just want to clarify, we agreed at June 26th, is it 6 PM?
Yes. That's still a Monday, correct, Dave?
Yes.
Does that work for you, Gary? It says we're using your facility? Okay, all right. Mark that on your calendar.
Gonna be selling hot dogs and hamburgers?
Good day for a barbecue.
Yeah, there you go. She ready to speak?
I'm sorry.
They're typing their stuff into their phones.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
okay.
1 minute. I appreciate your time. Gotcha. Done, thank you.
Deb McKiernan, 15 South Ben Hogan Drive. Before June 26th, would the public have access to those bids for them to review so that we can come prepared with questions?
And they're public at that point, right?
Aren't they public?
The bids will be, yes, they should be public by that point in time. Yep.
After 18th.
Yes. Yep.
Now, will we have a presentation before that
That's what
or
I say, we need
during?
to have.
Well, the plan is to, at the next regular meeting, which is why we're getting them back the 18th, I think it's 7 days, Tony, before the next meeting, was to give PFM time to aggregate the bids, present it to the Board of Supervisors, and then bring it forth in the public meeting that evening. So yes, you will have an overview from PFM at the May public meeting.
All right, that's their perspective. Are we, as a public, allowed to review those bids ourselves instead of having a potential skewed review?
I believe so, yes. Yeah, they're all good. It will all be in the public domain at that point in time.
Now, educate me. How many folks are on sewer, or how many households are on sewer in the township?
I think we said 1,500.
I'm sorry?
Approximately 3,000.
3,000 or so?
That's residential,
Okay,
and there's about 130 commercial, something like that.
thank you. Okay. And just to clarify, it's costing the township nothing to maintain the sewer because it's self-sufficient. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. If it's self-sufficient, I'm not sure why we are entertaining the idea of selling.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I mean, we do have a budget every year of what it costs to maintain the sewer operation and the daily operations and the pump stations and everything like that. I don't have it in front of me because I didn't know, it's on the budget. We have a sewer budget every year that it's not free. So I just wanted to make that clear.
But it does cover itself.
Yes, it's
Correct, so
correct.
it's not costing.
I just wanted to clarify,
but-
it's
but it is-
not costing zero,
Correct,
but
it covers
yeah,
itself.
It does.
When you say the bids will be available, will they have to be a right to know, or will they publicly be available for us to pick up that night?
I will confirm how they're going to be presented.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think the easier way to be would not be a right to know and have them publicly available.
I'm fairly positive that you're going to be having, that we're going to have them here, but I'll confirm with PFM just to make sure that we're following.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else want to come up to the podium and speak? Do we have any more discussion on this? I think we covered a lot there.
I think, yeah, one thing we'd like to find out is what the voting, to go to the polls. That's one thing I need to find out.
Well, you have contacts, so you can find it out, can't you?
I can find out, yeah. See if we can hand out things at the polls. Maxine said we
Well,
can't, but
she said years ago she checked. so it
No,
wouldn't
it's
hurt.
still the same, but go ahead and check that.
Yeah, go ahead and just double check. Any other discussion on that? Okay, next we'll move on to new business. First item of business, looking for a motion to recommend a bond reduction for Lexington Estates Phase 4 bond reduction to $145,730.10.
I'll make a motion for the Phase 4 bond reduction of $145,730.10.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion? So everything,
Yeah, so we
everything's satisfied?
completed the inspections, and, we're recommending the bond reduction.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, we're looking for a motion to approve Lexington Estates Phase 5 bond reduction to $155,730.43 per the recommendation of the township engineer.
I'll make a motion that we do the bond reduction for Phase 5 of Lexington Estates for $155,730.43.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item of business, looking for a motion, the tax collector
Not looking for a motion, it's a discussion.
Okay, discussion on the tax collector request to amend ordinance 386 E code, chapter 351-40, tax certification. Sheila, you want to speak on this?
Hello, this is Sheila Isley. Just requesting comparable rates to compare with other tax collectors across the county board or countywide. They're getting $35 for tax certs. The duplicates are still the same at 10. And the other request is that they do a $10 rush fee for certifications if they need to be done within 24 hours.
What are they currently?
Tax certs right now are 20. But when I was at some tax association meetings, I was told that we're not comparable to the rest, that ours are low. And I know that York Haven Borough was asked to do the same thing, because I do their taxes as well. And they were in agreement that we could raise, they were gonna raise theirs.
Does anyone have any questions on that?
We should certainly be comparable to other townships.
Is there a reason they have to agree to it with you, or does it go to the town? I'm lost on this.
The fee goes to the tax collector.
So you're asking for a $20 or $35 rate, a $50 increase,
Correct, because that's comparable to what the other tax collectors in the county are getting.
and that's gonna go into the taxpayers.
It goes to the tax collector
It's
also.
going to you from the taxpayers for giving you basically a raise, that you just got the job this year.
It's a fee to be comparable with the other tax collectors in town.
So this is, so I'm understanding it, this is not,
Excuse me.
an increase for everything, it's an increase for
Tax
certain things that you
certifications and a rush fee.
So, like, give me like a dollar, like not a dollar amount, a number of, like, you do 100 of those a year, or 1,000 of those a year, or?
I probably do about 60 of them a month.
This is if someone requests a service from you?
Yeah, it's if someone's buying a house or doing refinancing.
So this is coming from the settlement, basically?
It comes from the settlement.
So it's not an added fee to the taxpayers?
No, it's a fee that's added if they're selling their house, that they're already paying the mortgage company or refinance company. They're already paying them like $100 or $150
Yeah.
to get that stuff from me anyway.
All right. Does that make any more sense to you, or? You have to come up to the microphone and,
That way people on the TV land hear you.
How long does it take to do a tax certification?
Depends what how many taxes there were, whether it was just straight your county and your school taxes, or if there was interim bills in there, but it probably takes like between 5 and 10 minutes to do them.
okay.
James, can you clarify?
Isn't that all computerized, you can just print it out?
You still have to pull it up and you have to verify information.
Can we change anything? I thought we had to do that before each election, so they know where they were. Can we change any of this now?
You can, I believe you can amend mid-year. You guys would have to vote on that. But yes, you typically certify at the beginning of the year.
You can't reduce it.
So you're asking for 35 for the recertifications. What do you get now?
I get 20.
And then that comes from the at the settlement. It's paid by the.
Right, it comes out of a fee at the settlement.
By the buyer or seller, which.
Yeah, whoever
Yeah.
agreed to pay it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to have just some discussion on this.
Just for clarity too, she's also asking, there is no rush fee right now in our ordinance. She's requesting a $10 rush fee if they need it within 24 hours, because typically you have 72 hours, or?
I don't know that there's a set time frame, but again, like I said, from the association meetings that I was at, and they're like, well, this is what, you should be asking that you can charge for these, was that they do a rush fee, that they get it done within 24 hours, Monday through Friday. Otherwise, they typically get done within like 48 hours.
Not that I'm questioning your integrity, but do you have documentation of what the other, like, of those figures you say everyone else is at?
I can tell you where I got them from. It's
Okay.
Vicki Allison from Loganville. She's the one that was doing the training and was like, this is what the rates should be.
Or the treasurer's, maybe, treasurer's office?
This was at a tax association training meeting.
Well, I think if if she's being paid below what the other tax collectors are getting, we should certainly okay that. Maybe not today, but we should consider it and look at it.
I mean, I agree we should definitely have more discussion on it. I mean, it's not a direct tax, it's coming out of settlements from sales to
Right.
sell the house. Jane, can you want to come up to the microphone?
I'm talking to myself right now.
Please state your name and address.
Yeah, Jane Harmon. I'm doing the math. It's if she said she did that many homes, it's like $900 more a month. When she got the job, does she not know? Sorry, does she not know what the fees are when she applied for the job and how many months? It's been not even a year she's been doing the job, and we want to because the other rates. I clean homes for a living. I know a lot of people get better rates. I don't compare and say, well, she said I can get $100 more, so I'm going to apply for $100 more. It's not how it works. So there's a fees, a certain
When you're
fees.
starting a job, you don't know everything right off. And she was advised to have us look into it, so I certainly think we should.
I totally disagree. It
Well,
just
then maybe
everybody
you
just
should
keeps.
run for supervisor.
Trust me, I will be.
Okay, you do that.
I will be. Just because somebody keeps coming in and saying, well, I need more money, I need more money. It's like it's a bleeding pocket here in the Newberry Township. It's just constantly just draining. Just think about it before you say, well, I think we should be.
We said to look into it.
Okay, all right.
And for clarification, I've never asked for anything else to be raised before. This is the first time because I was told that the rates are not comparable to what the others are in the county.
I think it's something we have to look
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Did you have any other questions for me?
I personally don't.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next item of business, I'm looking for a motion to approve Resolution 2023-14. This is a $12,000 donation to New Hope Ministries capital campaign. This is a resolution to cover the vote that we approved to give the money
What's that
last.
resolution number again? I'm sorry.
It's Resolution 2023-14.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2023-114. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I'm looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 2023-15, using general fund to pay for 3 new trucks and upfit. A total of $329,742.09. From that, we will receive a PA forward rebate of $168,000 after we purchase the trucks, and have proof that we destroyed the 3 old trucks. We're looking to do this in lieu of financing. We were going to finance, but with the interest rates what they are now, it makes more sense just to pay them off out of the general fund. Since we have the extra money, we move the ARPA money into the general fund.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. I'm looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 2023-16, Fire Tax Fund move from General Fund to Fire Tax Fund.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second that.
Jane, would you like to just give a brief explanation of this? Yeah, you better go to the microphone.
When the budget was put together back in the fall, we had the fire tax we started collecting this year in the general fund. And when the audit was done by Zelenkovsky, it was advised that we take all that money that we had allocated to as income and expense and move it to its own separate fund, similar to what we do for liquid fuel, similar to what we do for recreation. The amount of money that we had collected was already in its own bank account. It's just moved now to its own fund. So it's always been its own bank account every time we got fire tax money. But the penalties that go along with not being able to prove that the money was allocated correctly to things that are associated with fire and EMS, EMS services far outweigh not having it in its own fund. So it was advised that we did that. So we went through and we amended the budget. We moved those monies of, I think it was $165,000 worth of fire tax income and all the expenses. The net result is, the bottom line is $128,000 came out of the general fund budget and moved to its own budget, to its own fund. So that's what, the money's still here, sits in its own bank account. It's just, it's sitting separately now, similar to what we do for highway recreation.
And is that the one that's going to be interest-bearing?
It's been in an interest-bearing, yeah, it's been in an interest-bearing account. So when the fire tax fund always had its own separate bank account. It just now sits as its own accounting, its own company. I don't know what you want to, what you want to refer to.
Okay.
So
Paperwork, housekeeping.
that's basically what it is, lots of paperwork.
Any more discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G was approved the towing ordinance, but we tabled that. We're going to table that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we table that for another month.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item of business, I'm looking for a motion to approve low bar invoice 211994-4 for $547,484.28. It's for the progress on the building to date.
Which we have to do.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make that motion that we approve the low bar invoice number 211994-4.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion on that? I think the building currently, footers are in, the floor's poured, all the mechanicals are under slab. I think the structural steel is set. Masonry is at probably about 25%, and they just started exterior wall framing this week. I think they're planning on being under roof for the front 2/3 of the building in 2 weeks. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries. I'm looking for a motion to approve the purchase of a generator set for the new building for $69,802. About half of this will be due this year and half will be due next year, come out of next year's budget.
Due to the lead time.
Yeah, okay.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, discussion?
Have we looked into?
I'm sorry, but can you just state your name again?
Deb
Sorry.
McKiernan, 15 South Van Hogen Drive. Did we get multiple offers for that? Considering I heard about the garage doors being extremely high, I'm just wondering if we investigated generators a little bit better.
Is this a Lewis deal, or is this something we're doing?
No.
That's right.
So I can answer. We have multiple quotations for the same type of piece of equipment, and we also did research possibly getting a, I can't say.
Grant?
No. Surplus generators, I'm sorry. The ones that we found that were available were too large, and the price was actually a little higher, and it wasn't conducive, like you couldn't buy just the one, there was a couple of them together, so anyhow, I mean, we really went out digging in and going back and forth, we also had to make sure it met the requirements of the building through the design, that type of stuff.
Okay, thank you for doing due diligence.
Any more discussion?
Rob, one time we were discussing with Lobar about reducing the size of the generator and just having some areas that needed to be, for the emergencies, in case some power goes out, just have certain areas that needed the power. That never was.
I think we decided that wasn't, it wasn't feasible to
Cost
just-
more to separate everything and.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I could, just for the public too, that was a big, say big, I don't have the dollar figure in front of me, I can get it for you. There was a pretty decent reduction in our overall cost just by moving the generator location from one end of the building to the other end of the building, just in the copper wire and conduit and everything, because the original, for some reason, original design, the generator's at the back of the building and the mechanical room's in front of the building, so that resulted in several tens of thousands of dollars in savings, so.
Do we have 3 quotes?
I think it went through CoStar, didn't it?
Did you say the generators from Lobar? That's the bid from
It
them?
is
or
not.
somebody? It
This,
is not.
Lobar is not through Lobar.
All right, so, but it's additional fee to the building that was not in the original when we voted.
No,
It-
it wasn't.
So, for clarity, the first submission for the RACP grant, the generators and the, everything was in that grant. And that's why it was so much higher. And when we got to 2 million, we did some reductions in the building, but then certain things are going to have to be paid that are not being paid by the loan or by 50% match. And that was mentioned specifically in the meeting. I don't know the date. I can look it up for you, but.
That in the sewer, correct?
The-
The hookup
the
to sewer that
sewer-
we were going to get a grant for.
Yeah, it
and
was
we didn't
sewer,
get.
AV equipment, the security equipment, and the generator were mentioned that this is Lobar, when they voted for the Lobar contracts, these things also still have to be purchased. They're not in the Lobar contract.
So at the very end, we can I can do a right to know and get the whole total of everything, what we paid Lobar, and then everything additional, correct?
You already did a
Because we'll have an
spreadsheet on that,
itemized.
right? I'm sorry? You already did a spreadsheet on that with the total building cost.
I did, but if you,
No,
if it isn't something
At the
I'd
very
given
end,
you
'cause I'm sure
previously.
it's going to continue to go, so at the very end,
So before you run off, this generator was originally 80,000 in the spreadsheet he did that was included in the total building cost,
okay.
which included the sewer, included audiovisual equipment. I feel like you had that paper.
I'm just
And I
keeping my
think it-
notes on
I
what's
think
going on.
I'm sure the generator was in originally for 80,000,
Okay,
The estimate.
the estimate.
okay.
So it's not, now this is not something we're just springing, adding to the costs we weren't already budgeting.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay. So I lost track of where I was at. Do we have motions? We have motions, right?
And a
Yeah.
second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item of business, discuss dumpster hopper for the new building. Dave, you want to give any discussion on this, or?
What it is an attachment that goes on our existing skid loader. It's for dumping trash, different other things. Right now, if the police department sets their trash bag outside and Scott's guys are busy, it can sit out there for a couple days. We're not putting a dumpster down at the new building because we have dumpsters already here that we use. And in order to put another dumpster down there, we'd have to pay for another dumpster, which really isn't worth getting another dumpster. I think, I was looking for the number on this. It's $1,500 for this.
And I think there's some shipping, I'm sorry.
And then the EMS people will use it, the highway garage will use it, the police, it'll sit outside the police department. We had one here and it was taken back and it seemed to work rather well. And again, it'll be down at the new building once the building's done, rather than having to pay for a separate dumpster at the new building. This will pay for itself rather quickly.
Does this have a lid on it?
I was going to ask the same question.
Trying to find a picture, I just had a picture here a minute ago. No. Yeah, just a 2-yard hop.
Is there one available with the lid, or
Did you see any lids when you were looking at these?
is this something that's pretty easily fabricated, like to put just to keep stuff from blowing around and
Animals more than anything.
and animals?
Yeah. It's not feasible just to take tobacco and have garbage cans and dump in the tobacco bucket and dump into the dumpster?
Yeah, every day. It's like, I got other stuff to do rather than getting garbage.
I'm not talking a small garbage can. I'm talking
Just
a
for the
big-
record, I tried getting a dumpster down there.
That'll fill up in a couple days, and we can take it up and dump it when we gather all the other trash.
So I'm getting, it will save you time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to clarify, the price is $1,495, and it's $189 for the shipping, freight.
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase the dumpster hopper to use on the skid steer.
I,
Yeah, that's it.
I have a few cubic yards, I'm 50. I don't use it.
you'll have to come up here.
Is it attached by dumpster?
Yeah, forks.
You get to use forks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they were looking for one that
This goes-
hooks onto the skid loader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have forks for the skid loader.
Okay.
Then you got to take them on and off.
Well, let him say his thing, get up, introduce
Yeah.
yourself, and
Hi, Aaron Schwartz, 1990 York Haven Road. Yeah, I have a 2 cubic yard at my shop that we don't use, that you use the pallet forks to fix it up. And you just hit the lever and it'll dump it in the dumpster. More than welcome. to have it.
can't beat that deal.
You're
So-
going to operate it, so.
Well, just so I'm clear,
Dilemma with that is tripping the lever from the skid steer that has a cab.
that's what I was gonna bring up. That might be tough.
Well, how do you dump the other one?
Then you take the bucket off and you put that on like the bucket.
You just dump the whole,
Dump the whole
okay.
We'll look at it, see if it works. If it does, let Mr. Schwartz know.
You
So
go off,
that's-
you wanna try it? I don't know. You don't wanna get off.
Well, that's what we had before, that's the one.
We were thinking we'd weld some kind of chain on the back of it, the chain to the fork, so we can dump it. To the ball.
It's up to you, man.
Scott, does this dump? Because I'm looking at the picture, it doesn't look like it dumps.
It dumps just like a regular bucket on the front end.
It attaches right where the bucket is.
Okay, so
You just dump
your equipment does it doesn't.
Right. Anybody call it the trash company, because we wouldn't have a serve plant there, it's free with the trash contract. They don't charge us
That's worth a call. It's worth a phone call.
Well, let's go with the donation and see how it goes from there.
So, Deb McKiernan, 15 South Van Hoken Drive, so we can table this until we check out the freebie?
I guess.
I think so. Yeah. It was for discussion only.
So, we just have to coordinate how we get this dumpster for, if you want to go down, and maybe get down his shop and look at it and see what you think. That way you don't drag it up here if it doesn't.
Aaron, is it
work
down
out.
at B&B? Okay. It's down in Manchester.
Does yours have a lid on it? Okay. Dave, you want to come to?
Dave Parsons, One Hill Drive. Yeah, so Dave made a motion, so,
I rescind my motion.
okay. All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Nobody seconded the motion.
Any more discussion on the dumpster? Looking for a motion to pay the bills.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Looking for a motion for
I'll
adjournment.
make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.